Hello there, this is Carlo. Welcome to another very exciting video where I'm going to be showing you some of my favourite and best VFX and movie making tools, and basically the stuff that I use on a daily basis to do my work. So let's begin. So in the tradition of a desktop tool, shall I say, I want to be working across the board, just to give you guys an inkling and tell you a little bit about what I use and what I have. So let's get a little disclaimer out of the way. Making movies and doing visual effects in essence is about being creative, and it's about the mind behind the person doing the film, you know, the vision that you want to accomplish. So you don't have to splash out on the most expensive software out there, because at the end of the day your work will come through in your vision, so if that makes sense without sounding too stupid. So for visual effects, for instance, okay, so you've got visual effects, you've got compositing, and you've got editing, and then you've got audio. These are some of the tools obviously I've got down here that I use, but I've got a selection, so I like to vary what I use and what I can use purely to be more flexible. You know, if you start a job or you start working for a studio, some studios like to work with Maya, some studios like to work with Max, some studios like to work with Cinema 4D, some studios like to composite within Nuke, and some like to composite in After Effects. So it's always not wise but clever to sort of broaden your horizons and broaden your knowledge with what you can and cannot use. Most of them work very similarly anyway, especially modeling programs, and video editing programs in general work generally the same way. They're just laid out a lot differently, and the tools are put in basically different places because obviously they're different programs. So I'm just going to tell you what I like and what I use. So let's start with After Effects. After Effects is basically a visual effects tool. It allows you to create visual effects for your films and your projects that you create. And the great thing about After Effects seems to be evolving every single year. So the amount of plugins that are available for After Effects, if I just click on After Effects here and just open it up, the amount of programs available for After Effects is second to none. So the plugins for this program, you know, are limitless. There's, you know, you can create whatever your imagination puts out there within this program. So if you're into visual effects and you like doing VFX work and stuff like that, I truly recommend that the most important program that you ever have on your desktop is After Effects. Always make sure if you've got After Effects that you're running the latest version, because obviously plugins get more advanced. You know, you end up with more features. You end up with more things that you can add to your composition. That's why I always say, you know, if you've got an After Effects, you know, if you're using After Effects, I'm just going to drop something in. Everyone knows what After Effects is, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of people, you know, want to get started, they don't know what After Effects is. So I'm just going to drop this little video into a comp here. And basically it allows you to create whatever you want in your any sort of visual effects art that you want within your composition. So a lot of people can't afford the plugins within After Effects. They are happy with using After Effects as standard, and with the plugins that After Effects supplies, well, comes with it, which is great. There's nothing wrong with that, but I do recommend if you're an After Effects user and you're taking this seriously, always try to invest in as many plugins as you can. There's so many plugins out there. Now, the best plugins that you can possibly get for After Effects in my eyes is obviously Red Giant. Red Giant do some of the best plugins ever for After Effects, and they're just phenomenal. I'm not going to go through every single one because that will take me all year. But also another great plugin collection is Video Copilot. You've got stuff like obviously Element 3D, which is basically a modeling program which is built in. To me, Element 3D looks more like Cinema 4D. It's based around sort of Cinema 4D. So you're sort of staying within After Effects, and you're doing your work, so on and so on, and you can sort of play around with sort of like all your models and add models to your scene, so on and so on. So not only that, you can import your models which you create if you create a model in After Effects, Max or Cinema 4D, so on and so on. You can create models within that to add to your scene to give it a bit of realism. So, you know, always think, you know, if you're using After Effects, can I, you know, add the plugins to it? Can I afford to add the plugins to it? Because it's quite important to have some plugins for it, because obviously, even though After Effects can do everything, After Effects is limited to what plugins you have. So always remember that if you are using After Effects, try and get as sort of many plugins as you can for it. There's so many out there. Some are quite expensive, I won't lie to you, but some are quite cheap. So always think of that when you're using After Effects. So After Effects is fantastic because my favourite video editor is Adobe Premiere. So if I go to a new, sorry, let me just open it back up again. If I go to a new project, for instance, because it's the Adobe suite, everything works in conjunction with itself, which is fantastic. So I can literally think to myself, right, I need to do something to this scene, whatever. I can literally, or add a visual effects, I can replace it with an After Effects composition, which will allow me to open to After Effects. So I'll just set out one, and then bang, if you move this over, the video that you're working on within Premiere is opened up in After Effects. So I can go to that scene with that fire. This is just a little something I'm working on, so you get a sneak sort of peek. Let's go to the fire. Okay, so this scene here, I can go to effect, for instance. Let's see. I can add, I don't know, a fisheye distortion, for instance, like that. And then when I go to After Effects, that is automatically entered or added to my Premiere Pro project, which is fantastic. Really, really is. And it's the same with if you're using what's the other one, Auditions, which I've got here somewhere, but I've not got my doc yet. So if you're using Auditions, for instance, you can use Auditions and any Adobe project, or sorry, Adobe program together with itself, so they all work together. So if I wanted to sort of edit the audio, I can go up and I can edit in Adobe Auditions, and then automatically this should load up Adobe Auditions and allow me to work within Adobe Auditions and work on my audio interface, which is phenomenal. Obviously, you know, think how, you know, you want your productivity to go, and it's all to do with pipeline and saving yourself time. So as you can see, it's created Adobe Audition project file, which is great, and then I can basically work within Adobe Auditions to sort of standalone this on its own, fix my audio. So the Adobe suite is phenomenal for making movies. If you want to make movies and do visual effects all in one place, and you want to take this seriously, you can literally do everything within the Adobe suite. So that is fantastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quit all this gobbledygook, and I don't want to save that. I've got it all saved. I'm just going to close down my After Effects and basically move on. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. And the file I've just literally wanted to edit within Adobe Auditions is automatically here saved to my desktop, and as I click on that, it will automatically open, so I can start working on my audio side of things, which is great. This is the audio from the actual film that I'm working on. Fantastic. So let's just come out of here. Right, so now we've got the Autodesk suite. which is quite an advanced suite. It's used by some of the biggest film companies on the planet. Maya is the big boy, because a lot of people think, a lot of people use 3ds Max for movie making, a lot of people use Maya, and you can use 3ds Max, but 3ds Max is more designed for gaming, making games, whereas Maya is more designed for film, making film stuff. So I'm just going to open that up. Yeah, so we've got Maya 2016, which is basically an animation and modeling program. I was using Maya since I think 2011, and I've always been into it, and I've always literally loved it. But Maya has progressed so far in the last few years. There's nothing that you cannot do within Maya now, and it's absolutely fantastic. So if you want to create stunning models, for instance, you want to create animation, or you want to make animated cartoons, or whatever you want to make that's animated to add into your movies, you can do with Maya 2016. Great things is it's got things like fluid simulator, so you can literally create water, you can create hair, textures, anything you want can be done within Maya. Hence why Maya is used in so many visual effects studios. It's used on so many movies. I can count them, in my hand, the amount of movies, that's actually used. Maya's actually used to create films and visual effects. So moving along, we've got a motion builder, which is basically, connected to Maya. It's basically motion, to create motion within a character that you create. So that's exactly what motion builder is. I'm not going to go too deep on it. Mudbox is basically a sculpting tool, so whatever you create in Maya or 3ds Max, you can transport over to Mudbox, and you can basically sculpt it to give it that more realistic, real sort of look. So Mudbox is a very, very, very good tool. Next we've got the latest DaVinci Resolve, which is basically a color correcting tool. It can be used as a video editor, and a lot more other things as well, but a lot of people do use DaVinci Resolve for their grading, because it's a very, very powerful tool for color grading. I'm going to skip this one, and RealFlow. So RealFlow is a fluid simulation program. It allows you to create fluids, and it works in conjunction with near enough every 3D program you can buy. So you would basically create a fluid within, I'll just open it up so just in case you ain't seen it, show you what it's like. So you create a fluid, for instance, within RealFlow, and then you would import that into Maya, or you would import that into Cinema 4D. So I'll just load a demo scene up for you guys. For instance, I'll just load this up. Let's close that, and basically it will literally just allow you to create fluids in sort of any dimension you want. So if I was to sort of simulate that very, very quickly, if you watch carefully, it should simulate a fluid effect. But this is a very, 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 very GPU intense program to run. It really is. It really does need a lot of horsepower. Behind here, just here, is simulating water. So first of all, you'd have to simulate it, and then you'll get the basically the effect of the water coming through the wall. So that's sort of like a quick example, and what you would do is you would import that entire scene into your Maya scene, or into your 3ds Max scene, or your Cinema 4D scene. So here we have HitFilm 3 Pro, which is basically a cut down version of After Effects. It works in its own unique way, and it's got some very, very, very cool features, which are really, really good to use, but it's more targeted at the beginner side of things. Now, if you want to use this, I do know that if you go on the HitFilm website, they are giving away HitFilm Express 3 Pro for free. The only thing is you're actually sort of sacrificing a lot of the plugins. So basically what you're doing is getting the shell, with a few. Oh, that's not good. Let's try again. Let's try again. Right, so basically you're getting the shell of the program, okay, and then you have options to add your own visual effects via packages. So you can pay sort of $9.99 for a certain set of, you know, packages. You can buy this, you can buy that, you can buy, you know, any sort of, you know, particle effects, optical flares. Let's just start a composition. I don't know why that crashed. That's weird. That's never happened to me before. But I suppose there's a first time for everything. But the pro version, obviously, you get everything sort of included in there, along as, you know, you get optical flares, you know, glow, you know, you sort of get light flares, so on and so on. So it is a really, really nice piece of software. You get also, you know, quick 3D sort of things, like I could sort of throw a bonfire here, if I can find it. And then you can literally move this bonfire in 3D space, all 3D, and basically use that program to create visual effects. It's got some stunning stuff, and I've seen a lot of people on YouTube do some really, really, really amazing things with HitFilm 3 Pro. So it's definitely worth having a look. Like I say, at the moment there is a free Express. Let me see if I can go to the website to show you. Let's just close all this. So let's go HitFilm 3, and if we go to their website here, as you can see, you can get HitFilm 3 Express free of charge. There's a demo here done by Ryan at Film Right. I do recommend you check Mortal Kombat out. It's absolutely fantastic, and it's a perfect example of how you would literally use HitFilm for your visual effects and your editing work as well, because it's a really good editing program at the same time. So check that out if you're just beginning it or you're just starting out. It's worth a look, and obviously it's free of charge, so you can't sort of complain. Okay, let's shrink that and go to Mocha. Now, I do a lot of tracking, and the reason why I bought Mocha Pro is because it's independently a tracking tool. So all you do in Mocha Pro is tracking work, and I wanted to get a really good program to track with, so that's why I use Mocha. And Mocha works flawlessly with After Effects, and it works flawlessly with programs like Nuke, even though Nuke Studio's got its own tracking interface, but it works flawlessly with any program, any sort of 3D program, or should I say a visual effects program that you have. It works really, really well. Okay, so we've got Mari, which is a painting tool, which is very good. It basically says what it is on the tin, really. It's to paint your models and paint stuff and add textures and stuff like that, so that's pretty cool. This is Nuke Studio, which is a compositor and visual effects tool. So it's very similar to After Effects, but the difference is with Nuke you use nodes rather than layers. So your nodes are basically your layers, basically. So it works very different. I do find Nuke Studio a little bit more complicated than After Effects. I find After Effects a lot more easier to use. So if I was to look through here, when it loads, might be a bit slow because I'm Camtasia in at the moment. So I can literally throw, as you can see, that's my video, then I connect it to my viewer, and it will appear in here, 720p, and then you could do all your visual effects work, add your sort of ocular stuff, you know, your bits and pieces, without making any errors. And basically these are all layers, so that's the difference. You're using nodes rather than layers. So Nuke Studio, very powerful tool. It's a very, very powerful compositing and visual effects tool. So if you've got the money, I do recommend you go for that if you want to take visual effects and compositing seriously. Next we have Modo, which is another very, very cool modeling tool. Now I haven't had a lot of time to sort of play around with Modo, but I can assure you Modo is extremely powerful. So I'm going to file that up for you guys, just in case you've never seen Modo before. It's taking a little bit of time for loading my programs. I'm running off SSD at the moment, but it's where I'm recording my bits and bobs, or recording this video. So let's load a scene, for instance. And this is a demo scene. And if we go to animate, let's just go there. Alright, so as you can see, it's a really sort of nice modeling tool that you can sort of render on the fly as well. Everything can be rendered as you use it, and you can sort of go to your animation tool. If you hit play, then you can sort of see your stuff and animate, keyframe, and do all your bits and bobs for your modeling and your visual effects work. So this works very similar to Cinema 4D, 3ds Max and Maya. Obviously it's got sort of a sort of different layout to the other program, because obviously it's a different program, but it does the same thing. So you've got your sort of painting stuff, so you can paint your car and do all your bits and bobs with that. So I'm just going to quit this because that is done. Finally, coming to the end, we've got Lightwave, which is another modeling tool, or VFX tool, and Modeler, which these both work together. Don't really use this a lot, but I do want to find some time in the future to sort of sit down and work with these and see the sort of work I can sort of pull out with these and see what it can basically do. So Cinema 4D, which is another modeler and effects tool. This you can create some really stunning things within Cinema 4D. I've seen a lot of amazing work, and Cinema 4D is used for TV and movie as well, so a lot of exciting things that can be done with Cinema 4D. So Cinema 4D, very cool stuff. Let's load a object, so you can load a, I don't know, let's say a walk. It wants me to do an update, but no thanks. So you get your walk, and then you can sort of texture it down here, do whatever you want, so on and so on. You get a general gist of it. Very similar to 3ds Max and Maya. Cinema 4D, though, works flawlessly with the Adobe programs, because you've got things like Cineware and stuff like that in there. So if you want to keep it in the family, shall I say, Cinema 4D is a good one to go for. And finally and lastly, we have Blender, which is a freebie animation tool. I do have a lot of animation stuff on here because I like to be flexible. And this is a freebie basically. You can go on blender.org and download this program, and this is a great way to get yourself started in modeling and effects work. So that is it, my friends. I'm going to quit that, and that is my collection of visual effects and movie making tools. Hope you found this video interesting. As always, do remember to hit that like button and that subscribe button. Anyone who subscribes, I really appreciate your support. And guys, sorry if I ramble too much, and sometimes in this video I may have stuttered my words, but hey ho, I hope you enjoyed this video anyway, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Ciao ciao.